Hey ladies, this is Marcia here with Midwest Performance. Today I'm with a very special guest, MP Member Erin Lowing. Today we'll be talking to you about how to be strong and fierce.
We're Midwest Performance. We're on a mission to empower women around the world to take action and work hard to make a physical impact in their lives. In this very saturated fitness industry, there's tons of competition, but the opportunities are incredible. We'll cover the most common challenges in the fitness world and invite guests to the show that have learned to overcome them and share their strategies with you. This is the Coffee with MP show.
Hey ladies, it's Marcia here with Midwest Performance. Again, I am with a very special guest today, Member Erin Lowing. Erin has been with us for a year now, as of actually it was April of last year, if I'm not mistaken. And today, again, she'll be talking to you about learning to be strong and fierce. So with that being said, we're just going to go ahead and dive right into it. Erin, tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a mom. I have 2 boys. And recently engaged.
Yay! Congratulations.
And thank you. And just in my getting to my mid-40s, and just kind of feel like I'm just starting to figure out life.
That's okay. Now then later. So tell us a little bit, like, what do you do for a profession? How did you come about Midwest Performance?
Sure. I work for a medical company. I've been there for 16 years.
That's a long time.
It's a very long time. And I run their customer service and inside sales teams.
Okay.
And then how I got on how I found Midwest Performance is just basically I was trolling Facebook, doing my daily stalk.
I like how you said that, trolling.
I was doing my daily stalk, and the little video came up of a 6-week challenge. Sure. And I thought, well, it's right down the street. You know, maybe I'll check it out. So I was sent my thing, and then Brittany called me or sent me a thing to do the come in. And
sure.
As soon as I came in, I was like, this is nice. And then, you know, my first workout here was awful. I was so terrible.
Awful in the good way, right? Okay, good.
And just, but I was hooked right then.
That's good. So tell us a little bit about your struggles of being a mother and being able to put yourself first and overcome that struggle, essentially.
Okay. Well, some of you may know who know me. I lost a daughter when about, let's say, 15 years ago. And when that happened, I didn't want to be anything but a mom. And I figured life was too short, and so I stopped caring about myself and how I looked, and it was all about my boys and how I was going to raise them. And then my husband and I decided to separate, and the moment that happened, I realized, like, it's really about me too.
Sure, yeah.
That I have to be an example to them. It's not just about going through the day-to-day.
Yeah.
It's really about living and feeling good about yourself.
Sure.
Is what makes you a better mom,
yeah.
or, you know, a better friend, a better spouse, you know, any of that stuff.
Now, it's a hard transition when you think about it, going through a divorce and losing a child and being able to transition that mindset. How were you able to do that? How were you able to overcome that?
Some days I don't know if I do. You know, some days it's easier, and you just kind of get up and you wake up and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym. And then other days you're like, oh, I just don't want to go, or I don't want to go to work, or I don't want to go to this.
Sure.
And you know, it's real easy to fall into that trap, and I did it for a long time, but overcoming it, it was just kind of, you know, I did little things, but truly finding Midwest, I know this, it sounds funny, but I love who I work out with. They're some of my most favorite people. I can't tell you how, like, when I walk in, or they're not here, or I'm not here, like, I miss it here.
Yeah.
This is for me.
Sure.
And it has nothing to do with anybody
else. It's just you.
me.
That's awesome. So coming into this, you knew nobody, correct?
No.
Yeah, and tell the audience, like, how does it make you feel now being where you are, you know, a year later? I'm assuming you now have friends, and how is that?
Yeah, I mean, I just did the retreat. And
what is the retreat, by the way?
Oh, the retreat is, it was a whole weekend that Midwest Performance put on. It was Orenda, and it was really about empowering yourself, setting goals for yourself, achieving goals. You know, it was just a really amazing time, completely emotional because I felt like I carried everyone's stuff with me all weekend. But I went with one of my very best workout buddies, Melissa.
Awesome, Melissa. Yeah, that's so awesome.
And but I got to meet other people too, and I made some really good friends, and it was just a really great weekend.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's transition into that. Now you found out that after doing the retreat and now being on this consistent schedule and putting you first and doing the workouts, we've talked about how now for you is that strong is more beautiful than skinny.
Oh, without a doubt. Like, I can't tell you, I brush my teeth in the morning and I see, and I see this muscle on my shoulder. I'm like, damn,
that's okay. You're fine. You're completely fine. That's fine.
But that to me is so much more attractive, being strong and just feeling inside, like when you bump yourself up to the next kettlebell. It sounds so silly, but it is so empowering.
It is. It surely is.
It really is. Or when you watch, you know, the person next to you and they went from a 15 to a 20 and you're like, oh, you're so amazing. I mean, and just inside myself, like it's not just strength, like what I can lift or what kettlebell, but it's like the strength in myself, like I can do this. Right. You know, I'm in control.
Yeah, it's not always what's the number on the scale, right?
Oh, without a doubt.
The no scale victories, like you said, going up to another weight. And some people, they have a tendency, they don't celebrate the milestones. You know, like you said, brushing your teeth. I'm the same way. It's like, what? So yeah, I could totally relate. So high five to that. So that's awesome. With that being said, I just want to transition it. How were you able to learn or to give yourself grace?
So that was something that I learned at Arenda, and it was really powerful to me because I'm hardest on myself, and I expect a lot of myself. And some days when I can't get something done or don't do it, I beat myself up. But you know what I learned is it's okay. Yeah. Give yourself grace, and not just grace for myself, but grace to other people, and you know, realizing that, you know, if you do that, what a happier person you are, and just, you know, really forgiving yourself. You know, if I eat I joked around about this, but if I eat a whole sleeve of Oreos, you know what, it happens.
Right, it does. We're not perfect, by any means, Give us another example, because I know a lot of people could probably relate to this. The audience is like, well, dive a little bit deeper about giving grace, because there's so many different scenarios out there that you can relate to, and one of them you talked about was like the Oreo cookies. Right. But give us other examples of maybe how you've been able to deal with it, and just like, it's okay, it's not that big of a deal, because a lot of people have a tendency to always focus on the negative things. And how do you get past that and just be like,
It's, you know, that's a trick, is really just finding, because I just kind of started implementing it in my life, is really just that, you know, nobody's perfect. And you just got to forgive yourself. And what you think the person next to you has, you have no idea.
Exactly.
You know, they may not. So giving grace to somebody else and forgiving or believing that somebody is coming from a good place. If we just take that, believe that they're coming from a good place, because it makes you feel better.
Most definitely.
You know, I feel, you know, it's like a relaxing, like, don't take it that way, Erin. You don't know. Right. And, you know, and that's the same thing for me. And I tell this just happened, but I was telling my son, he's dieting and exercising, and he was like, Mom, I did this. I'm like, it's okay. Right. You're okay. It's okay.
Sure.
You know, that's the biggest thing, is just to remember that it's okay.
It is okay. I've also learned too, through my sports psychologist, is don't get stuck in the suck. I mean, it sounds so cliche, but it's so true. It's like we have a tendency to always focus on the negative thing, and it's like, how do we get past that? So I'm glad that you were able to share that with the audience. Another thing too I want to kind of talk about is, if any of the Erins that were out there, you know, post Erin, before MP Erin, what advice do you have for them if they're watching today?
That you have it within yourself, that don't let the daily struggles of, you know, kids, or maybe you're in a not so great marriage, or in a not so great relationship, believe in yourself that you're strong. I feel like if I could do it after I was married for a long time, if I could do it, anybody can do it.
Sure.
You
How
know?
long were you married for?
I was married for, before we got separated, it was 14 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, you know, I was with him when I was 21 years old. So, you know, it was a long time, and I picked up and I left and I started a whole new life for myself.
Sure.
And that's why I know, like, any struggle you really can overcome.
Sure.
It really is in your mind.
Yeah.
It's how hard you're willing to push and how bad you want it.
For sure, yeah.
You know, in anything. It could be the job, or it could be,
right.
you know,
It doesn't have to be fitness related.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be fitness, but doing that for yourself, pushing yourself like that, that makes you so unbelievably strong inside. Like, I don't feel the confidence that I've gotten off of my journey, not just here, but before here, is just, I can't even tell you. Brittany said we were at the Arenda, the banquet, and she said, you're like a totally different person from when
most definitely.
You know, and it really has. It's been a journey. I felt like I was like half a person. Now I kind of feel like, oh, maybe you got this, you know.
Looking back then, did you think that you would be where you are today?
No, I didn't even think it was possible. I had worked out many times on my own, and I've never been able to do, you know, what I've done here. You know, just if we're talking weights, or even just like some of the crazy exercises, or, you know, doing kickboxing with you, you know, it's just, it's pretty amazing.
Sure. So what has been the biggest impact to your success other than MP?
Oh boy, finding happiness, you know.
I like
really,
that, that's deep.
Dropping those walls down.
Yeah.
And letting things in.
I like that.
You know, and I'm working on, you know, letting, you know, taking the negativity and just kind of throwing it out. And, you know, that's a challenge every day, but it's just, it really has been a, you know, a big transformation.
I'm so happy to hear. If I wish you guys would have met the Erin, like months prior to where she is today. Like she said, it's a completely different person. So it doesn't matter where you are in your journey. And again, like she said, is just being able to allow yourself the grace and being able to put the negative things to a side and putting yourself first, regardless if you have kids or not, or if you're going through a divorce. I mean, anyone can do it. And you might not look like you can at the moment or the stage in life and where you're at, but just keep going, keep trucking. You never know unless you try, right? So I really do appreciate you coming onto the show today. What we typically do for everybody that comes onto the show, we have a I Survive a Coffee with MP show. So I won't grab it right now. It's actually behind us. So I'll make sure that you get one of those, because a lot of ladies that come on here, being able to be transparent and show vulnerability is kind of, it can be nerve-wracking. So we do appreciate you doing that. So we're going to most definitely give you one of those t-shirts.
Well, thank
you. With that being said, ladies, we're going to go ahead and sign off here. Thank you so much for tuning in with us today, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us today. If you like this episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel or find our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever your favorite places to listen to podcasts might be. And if you really liked this episode, please leave a review for us on iTunes. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.